Hello and welcome to 7 Afternoon. I'm Diane Rutherford and I'm joined today by Sergeant Paige Taylor of the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Now, according to the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, Americans lost a staggering $16.6 billion to scams in 2024, and the number is expected to be even higher this year. Americans lost, as I said, $16.6 billion, but anyone can be a victim. But as a group, people over the age of 60 suffered the most losses at nearly $5 billion. Sergeant Taylor, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming in. These numbers are staggering to me, and the FBI is saying that we expect even more scams this year for 2025. What are you seeing locally with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department? Is this a huge problem, and is it growing?
I would say it is definitely a problem, and growing, yes, definitely growing in frequency. Just last week, one of my deputies took a complaint from a gentleman in this county that had depleted his $10,000 of savings to a gift card scam. And it was one of those phone calls that somebody that he knew or that he loved was in trouble. The only way to get them out of this trouble was to go and buy a ridiculous amount of gift cards and read these numbers, the gift card numbers, back to the person that had called, and he was wiped out.
Yeah.
And there is no way to recoup that particular money. That's a willful act. On the part of the victim. Yes, the crime part is the person calling, but if you don't engage with the willfulness to go and purchase and put forward the money and provide that information, then there's not a crime, but we can't recoup that money because that person didn't take that unknowingly from them. So they are a victim of a crime, but they were an engaged victim in that. So we don't have a lot of prosecution power to bring that person their money back in any kind of restitution.
Right. Now, you mentioned the gift card scam. What are some of the scams that you're also seeing out there, in addition to the one where they say, well, your loved one is in trouble, you need to post bail, so use gift cards, to pay the bill. What are some of the things that you're seeing?
It's quite ridiculous, actually, and it's so not very applicable. I mean, I have fallen prey myself personally to a fake ad scam, and this was years ago. So I know what it's like. It's embarrassing, and there was nothing that law enforcement could do. But when you take a step back and you think about what it is they want me to do, or they're trying to get me to do in order to, quote unquote, pay them, I don't pay my bills with Walmart gift cards. I don't pay my bills with, movie gift cards or Visa gift cards. If someone is trying to bully you or push you or make this an urgent, emergent situation to provide them money by way of a gift card, that should be the first indicator that you need to hang up. You need to end the call. And do some searching yourself. If you find yourself in that kind of a trap where someone's trying to urge you and really, lay it on thick that this is an emergency, that you have to provide this amount of money to solve what particular issue it is that they're portraying to you, hang up the phone. Look online. Look and try to confirm if it's an actual business, if it's an actual place. Ask for a callback number. I want to talk to a manager. Anything that can pursue, the legality or the truthfulness in that person's cold call.
Now, one of the things that I know that you are seeing is text scams. People get text
Yes.
messages on their phone. Let's say the New York Thruway Authority says you owe a toll or something
Yes.
like that.
Those were pretty big, like over the summer. I received several of those myself. My son did too. He takes a screenshot of it and sends it to me, and he's like, "Mom, is this for real?" I'm like, "No, please don't click it. Don't send them anything."
So it's probably a good idea if you get a text message that's asking for money, it's a scam.
It's safe to not respond to it, and if you do have that kind of an account, whether it be for your cell phone, for your Easy Pass, if you've been on the Thruway or haven't been on the Thruway, you can look all of that information up and verify it on the internet through the actual authentic website. So do your own homework and research, and if you're really unsure and don't know where to go to verify it, call a family or friend and say, "Listen, I got this. What do you think? I don't want to click it, but can you help me look on the internet to make sure?" And unfortunately, in order to stop the internet crimes, you have to research on the internet to see if it's for real or not. But that's really the only way to verify if it's something that's true.
Now, one of the biggest scams you're seeing, particularly for the age 60 and older age group, is romance scams.
Yes.
How do they work?
Usually, there's a lonely, elderly, maybe a widow or widower individual that just looking for companionship, and they may make a post. Whether it be through like Facebook dating has a whole separate app through Facebook, any of the Plenty of Fish, there's other ones that target those elderly silver-haired type of populations. They'll make a post on there and playing on emotion.
And some scammer will
Right.
answer it.
The scamming person, usually someone that's overseas, will start engaging in conversation with them. It rolls into very heavy, deep feelings very quickly. The scammer will start to try to invite themselves to their home or their home state, or try to get them to visit them, and it's something comes up, we were going to make these plans. Well, my granddaughter was just in a car accident. Can you send me $500 to help her fix her car?
Mm-hmm.
It starts kind of small like that, and that's the hook.
Right.
Getting the fish on the hook. Now they just have to get them in the boat, basically, and it just snowballs from there.
And people have lost tens of thousands of
Tens of
dollars,
thousands.
hundreds of thousands of
Yes.
dollars, their
Yeah.
entire life savings.
Yes, pieces of property
Yeah.
have been signed over to these fictitious individuals, and the entire family inheritances, their estate planning, their family, generational, little bit of wealth that they may have had signed away,
Yeah.
given away.
Yeah. So what types of advice do you have for people that want to have a romance, not go on the internet to look for people? Or
Well, that's to each one's prerogative. However, you probably should, if you're not really skilled or aware of the type of communications that happen through those types of apps, tell your son or your daughter, say, "Hey, I kind of want to meet some people, but can you help me screen or vet these individuals. And just be honest, you're just looking for companionship and you want another family member that might be a little bit more tech savvy and aware. But if it starts out trying to get really heavy, really fast, just that's a flag.
Yeah, yeah.
That's certainly a red flag.
And anytime they start asking for
And
money, that should be a red
exactly,
flag.
the minute they start asking for $1, no, I'm sorry, this is going to end.
Right, right. And then once the money is gone, it's gone, right? I mean,
It is.
you rarely ever see scammers brought to justice and return the money.
Yes, these types of scams are being played out worldwide, very often from other countries. This is not the type of crime that the Watertown Police, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, even Oswego County, Lewis County, we are not capable of tracking down the actual whereabouts and beginnings of these individuals. It's an organized crime situation, and it's not something that at the local level we can actually put a face and a person to the crime on the other side of that computer.
Is there an answer when it comes to law enforcement and finding these scammers and prosecuting these scammers? I mean, the FBI, I mean, is there anything centralized or?
That particular level, yes.
But on the local level?
The only thing we can do is to document it for you. We can take reports, but that report is definitely not going to lead to an arrest at our local level.
So should people call the FBI instead of their local law enforcement?
You can. There's several different websites that are monitored by federal government agencies. There's ic3.gov, and there is a link to that on the FBI's website that has a lot to do with reporting any kind of internet crime. And you don't need a local police agency's report, but you can. You can make that report locally, but then also go on and report to ic3.gov. That's for identity thefts, for the internet scamming from apps, from fake websites to, anything that is fake that you incurred a loss on. You can report it there. There's also the Federal Trade Commission's website. I think it's ftc.gov, and they'll have a link broken down on their website for reporting frauds. And also USA.gov is another federal website that takes cybersecurity scamming reports as well. So unfortunately, each individual instance is usually under the actual threshold for the FBI to be interested in. They are certainly going to want to investigate hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars scammed from usually commercialized businesses. $1,000 to you and me might sound like a lot of money and, really put a pinch on our monthly budget because we were scammed out of that. But when you're talking about the FBI investigating that one instance, it's probably not going to happen, but they should still know about it because there will be others that fell prey to that same type of scam in that same area. So they should know about it, and you should report it to them.
Now, one of the more troubling scams is using artificial intelligence. So AI, can pose as people's voices and
Yes.
things like that. And
Yes.
Tell us what you've seen.
And it's very believable. There's voice cloning, so it might be a recording, and it sounds very much like a real person, or even very similar to someone that they know personally. And they'll, engage them in conversation. And if anybody's used any of the AI apps that are out there, it's very easy to get a really personable type of response, especially when you're talking to the app and the app is talking back to you. So that's basically all that is during that phone call. And they entice the person to provide, personal information, whether it be social security numbers, bank account, debit, credit card numbers, the gift card scamming, preying on emotions to cause that sense of urgency, to help their loved one. AI is definitely becoming a problem in the scamming world.
So, for example, if I take a phone call and it sounds just like my husband or my son, and they're saying, I need $5,000 right away, and I believe it's them, but it's a scam. What should I do? Should I say, okay, hold on, I'm going to call you back and actually know that I'm speaking to the person?
Yes, that's a great thing to do. You can I know it sounds really simple, like this goes back to, what I was told growing up. Your family has a safe word.
Yeah, have a safe word.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be anything that's written down. It's not held anywhere. It's just one word, and, have that be their test. What's our safe word, honey? And if they can't say it, then that something.
That's a really good tip to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hanging up the phone, telling them I want to talk to a supervisor. I want to talk to someone that you're there with, and try to see if that voice changes. Try to create the sense of urgency back, so that AI app doesn't have the ability to change, like you're trying to make the conversation change. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Like
Yeah.
try to take over the conversation, and you'll start to see the AI actually trip up.
So what are some warning signs when a scammer is talking to you? What are some warning signs? For example, saying that you have an account that you don't have an account. Somebody created an account on your behalf, and now you've got to do something about that. That should be a red flag, I would think.
Yes, I had an experience this past summer. Spectrum, or what I thought was Spectrum, was calling me and telling me how they could lower my bill, and they kept trying to engage me by saying, well, we have all your information. Your name is this. Your address is this. Well, my name and address, as is a lot of people, almost everybody in America, your name and address can be located on the internet.
Sure.
It's free and open information. So that didn't necessarily surprise me. And for the first few times, I did think it was a scam, so I was just hanging up. I didn't have time to engage with them. But the calls kept happening every couple of days. And I'm thinking, this is really a hardcore sale tactic. If this is something that Spectrum is doing, this is like becoming annoying. And so I kind of engaged with them just a little bit. I wouldn't confirm or deny any of the information. And I said, well, what is it that you've got for me? And, just trying to get them to talk. And I could hear a lot of background noise. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of chatter. I even heard one person laughing like loudly in the background during one of these conversations. And I'm thinking, this really is a scam. And I said, all right, I'm going to consider your offer, and I'll call you back if I decide. And I hung up the phone. And I gave it maybe like half an hour. And I called the 1-800 number to actually reach Spectrum through my account. and I spoke with a real person. It wasn't AI. I told them the kinds of calls that I had been receiving, and I asked her to confirm whether or not they had some type of marketing thing going on, that this is how they were doing that. She said no. We would never do that. We have your information, we have your email. If there is some type of sale product that we are putting out there, we just put it out in an email or in your billing statement. And you be the deciding one if you want to take part in that particular sale. So that made me feel a little bit better. And this person didn't have any other information about me other than my name and address, which I couldn't do anything about anyway, and obviously my phone number because they were calling me.
Sure. One of the scams that I've heard of is where they ask you to withdraw money from your bank account, and somebody will come to your house or meet you somewhere, and you hand over the money.
Yes.
And I've actually seen where somebody has notified police. Police said, "Go ahead, let's set up a meeting point," and then they come in and arrest the scammer.
Yes.
That's a good tip. If somebody's asking you for thousands of dollars of your bank savings and they want to meet you physically to pick up that cash, you should notify law enforcement, even though they say
Absolutely.
don't call law enforcement.
Absolutely. And a lot of those people that are doing the meeting, they're called money mules, and they're actually victim of this larger organized scam to get people to give them money that they then forward on to their upper echelon of people, which is the organized crime part. And that person is basically so far in that they get to keep a little bit, but they have to send the rest of this, whether it be the gift cards or sometimes it's cash, but rarely is it cash. They have to send that money on. And we actually had a very similar situation to that. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, here locally in Jefferson County, and we did charge the person that was basically conducting the money mule part of the transaction.
So the person was charged. Do you remember what kind of charge it was? Was it like a misdemeanor or a felony or?
I believe it was a low-level felony. I think it might have only been a grand larceny fourth. It was less than $1,000. But we also weren't able to really pinpoint or identify the head of the snake.
Right.
You just can't. That's just a mess of cyber activity that we just do not have the time or ability to track down. And a lot of that stuff does come off the dark web. Those connections and the transfer of the money is coming off the dark web, and that's certainly not anything that we can access locally.
Now, what are some of the emotions scamsters, or scammers, I should say, prey on? What is the type of emotions? Is it fear? What do they prey on?
I think it could be lots of things. Loneliness, certainly creating a sense of urgency or emergency, the fear tactic, you've done something wrong. A majority of these people are good, hardworking people that just answered the wrong phone call, unfortunately. And so they don't want to be in trouble with law enforcement. They don't think they've done anything wrong, but there's this person saying that if they don't turn over $5,000, that there's going to be a warrant issued for them. They don't understand even that terminology because they've never been in trouble before. And so, yes, a part of it is fear. And some of these romance scams, it becomes I'm in love and I've built a relationship with this person. And, I mean, why wouldn't you want to share your money with your loved one when they're in trouble? So,
Let's say that you have a grandparent or a parent who's older, and you're seeing some of the signs that loved one is being scammed. What can people do? Is there anything they can do?
I'm not sure if this particular website is as popular as it used to be, but do not call.gov. You are able to put in your cell phone number or landline number, and it's supposed to remove your numbers from being like auto dialed and that type of thing. That's one particular way. Have some real conversations with your loved one and show them news articles. You might have to go that extra step by going on the computer and saying, read this, read this, mom, read this, dad, grandma, grandpa, whatever. We really don't think that this person is for real. And help them keep track too. They're being scammed by emotion, so they aren't necessarily tracking that. Oh, just last week he had another family emergency and he needed $4,000, and this week, only 7 days later, there's another emergency and they need $2,000. So help that loved one that maybe can't see that pattern. Say, why is it every 7 days or every 5 days or every 2 weeks? This person needs thousands and thousands of dollars from you. Trying to rationalize it for them and help them put it into a more realistic perspective.
Now, a lot of people don't report that they've been scammed because they're ashamed.
Yes.
What do you have to say to people about reporting crimes?
I know firsthand it feels embarrassing and you feel like a fool. But the only way that these particular tactics are going to be interrupted is if they're brought to light and you report it locally, with the understanding that it's very likely that your local police agency is not going to be able to do anything to help you other than just document it. However, reporting it to those websites that I mentioned earlier, the ic3.gov, the ftc.gov, and the usa.gov, the identity theft, the scamming, the whatever part of your identity was used or stolen, or funds that were transacted and you were a victim of, report that information on those websites.
Yeah, so anytime anybody asks you for money, you got to verify your source.
Yes, definitely verify your source. And if you're unfamiliar or not comfortable trying to verify that source,
Don't give them money.
don't give them money,
Yeah.
but also ask your, if you're in that elder population, ask your kids, ask your grandkids. They're definitely going to be tech savvy. Talk to someone at your bank and say, how do I know that this is good, real, truthful information from the internet? There are ways to tell, and just educating yourself a little bit on those ways is certainly helpful.
Now, I know that clerks and banks have training where they actually say to the clerk, hey, if you see somebody buying a bunch of gift cards, ask them about it.
Yes.
And one guy almost got scammed out of tens of thousands of dollars, but that clerk said, this sounds like you're being scammed because you're buying so many gift cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It used to be, like a few years ago, it was the Western Union money transfers, wire transfers.
Yeah.
and it's just taken a new form.
Yeah.
So it, used to be, if you're wiring someone money, are you doing this for the right purpose, and is this legitimate? And they had all the posters around the Walmart, Western Union locations, and now it's the gift cards. It's rolled over into that. So the scammers' technology has improved, so they can access those funds from those gift card numbers, and they've basically built a mimicking program to access those funds that go into those accounts when you buy a gift card.
Right. And of course, banks, when somebody comes to withdraw tens of thousands of dollars,
Correct.
the teller is trained as well to,
Yes.
to say, what are you doing with this money, kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's not because they're being nosy.
No, not at all. Not at all. They certainly do care about their customers, and if you're anyone that trusts your bank, and you feel foolish or ashamed or embarrassed by talking to your family members about whatever is going on or might be going on, just ask to talk with the branch manager or the assistant manager. They'll be more than happy to sit down and look at things for you and help you understand what's an actual verified site and how to make a complaint
Yeah,
if you have fallen prey to it.
Yeah, so the bottom line is you got to really advocate for yourself and not just take their word for it.
Yes.
And listen to what they say or prey on the different emotions.
Yes.
You got to think clearly.
And it's always okay to hang up. It's always okay.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they say on the other end, it's always okay to hang up.
Good advice. All right, Sergeant Paige Taylor from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And to our viewers out there watching, thank you for joining us on 7 Afternoon.